It's almost 9 o'clock. The sky is perfect. It's supposed to get to 80 something today, and it's 63 right now. And I'm sitting outside in shorts, a tank top, and drinking my coffee. I think I could definitely get used to this. February. I just took a shower. I have wet hair and it's still nice enough for me to sit outside. This house right there is my mother and father-in-law. That's how close I am to them. And it's really nice because they can even go to their porch and holler for me if they need me. Welcome everyone, I'm Bonita from Pennies to Dollars, and welcome to all of the new viewers and all of the returning viewers. This channel is growing and I'm so glad to have all of you a part of this with me. So we're going to talk today about what it's like if you have family that is not frugal. I'm very frugal. I was raised by Depression era parents. My dad had, 2 or 3 pairs of overalls that he wore. He wore a lot of holy stuff, a lot of stuff that was patched. And then he would have like one good outfit for if he needed it for weddings or something like that. But he dressed very, very simply and didn't have a whole lot to show for it. If you looked at him, you would have thought he was dirt poor. And then I married into a family that is not frugal. And my husband has adapted a lot. He thought he was raised frugally, I think, until he met me. But as his parents have gotten older and they saved and they worked multiple jobs where they got retirements and pensions, they don't live frugally now and they don't think anything about it. And I live next to them. So we're going to talk about the 2 different lifestyles that we come from and how we make that work. So a lot of people might say they couldn't live that close to family. They couldn't live that close to in-laws. I raised my kids with my dad living right down the road from us, and my kids would see him probably 3 times a day, and they loved seeing Grandpa several times a day. And they grew up being able to help him on the farm when he needed it. They would help him start tractors. They would help him bale hay. And he would come down and ask for them to come help him. And they love those memories. My older son wasn't super mechanically inclined, but my middle boy was. I remember my older one almost ran over him with a tractor one time. And when he came down, he was like, I need some help. And he asked for the younger one. I told him, he's working at the concession stand, but the older one is here. He said, I'll wait. And the kids have such wonderful memories. The older one was helping him bale hay one time and saw a bee. And my older son yelled, and my dad just took off running across the field and just left him because he was screaming. And when he came back, my son was like, why did you take off? And he goes, well, I thought there was a snake, because my dad was terrified of snakes. So since he heard my son yelling, he just left him. But they laugh about all of these memories. They were hard work. They were activities they did together. They didn't cost any money, but yet the memories are priceless. At one point, my oldest daughter got mad about something. I don't even remember what it was. It's not important to the story, but she packed her stuff and said, that's it, I'm going to live with Grandpa. And off she went down the street. Well, I thought, I'm not even chasing her because I know my dad. And it took her about enough time to get down there, explain everything to him load her back in his pickup and drive back into my yard, bringing her back. So I still laugh about that. Again, we all knew our boundaries, even though we lived next to each other. I love living next door to my in laws. They don't intrude on my life. I don't intrude on theirs. We see each other every day, if not every other day. We do errands together. We do free events together. And it's nice to know that they're right next door. And they, I think, enjoy having me right next door, even though my husband isn't here. With me living right down the road from my dad all of those years, I feel like I have slipped right back into my comfort zone of having family right next door. And I'm really enjoying my time with them. They are around 78 and 80 years old, and I am just loving it. Of course, I've been a nursing home administrator most of my life, but I am absolutely cherishing the time that I'm getting to spend with them. My father in law is involved in a bunch of activities around here. He helps serve ice cream for $2 a bowl on some nights over at the hall. He plays pool almost every day of the week. He goes to church here. He plays cards. He is absolutely loving it. I'm one of the few people around here without a golf cart. And so I do a lot of walking. And people are constantly trying to pick me up and give me rides because I don't have a golf cart. But I'm trying to stay in shape while I'm down here. I'm trying to get in better shape. I'm trying to focus on my health. So I always appreciate them offering, but I always decline and tell them, no, I'm trying to get more exercise on purpose. That's why you're seeing me out walking. I plan on trying to check out the outdoor pool. It's supposed to be in the 80s for the next few days in February. So I'm very excited about that. I pictured my retirement being like laying on the beach, laying by a pool. I've told my husband I could live in any of those states that are super warm as long as there's a pool for me to lay by. And he really wanted to be close to an ocean. I've been told that if you're next to an ocean and you wake up to it every single day, that it won't hold its appeal, that you'll get tired of looking at the ocean. I'm not sure that I could get tired of that anytime soon. I guess it's like anything else. If you learn to take it for granted and not appreciate it, then you can probably get tired of the same scenery or not notice. In Kansas, we have a lot of flat land and a long drive to go anywhere. So you can take for granted sometimes the beautiful sunrises and the beautiful sunsets because we have such a clear view of those all the time. Sometimes there's blues, purples, oranges, pinks, and they're absolutely breathtaking. But I'm trying to focus more on staying in the moment and appreciating all those little things that I felt like I didn't have time to appreciate when I was working all the time and just trying to do point A to point B and get everything done. Now I actually have time to step back and appreciate all those little things that are just timeless and don't cost any money and really add value to our lives. Let me know some of the things that you find give you value in your life that don't cost anything. I showed a little clip in the beginning of Fluff looking out the camper door. I am so glad I brought him with me. I'm not lonely at all. Yes, I miss my husband, but I'm not lonely. There are people everywhere. Everybody waves at you. As my husband says, it's almost mandatory. Everybody speaks to you. It's like its own little village within a village. There's that automatic trust, that automatic neighborhood feel that everybody is your friend, everybody's there and opening their arms to be your neighbor. Fluff has added a lot of value to my daily life just by being here. I talk to him. Sometimes I yell at him when he's scratching on the carpet. It's kind of like having a child here sometimes, when you have a pet. But he sleeps with me and he comforts me, and he is a welcome, welcome face every time I go in or out of the camper. It's so nice to know that he's here waiting for me, and he seems to truly be enjoying his time here. These are the things that I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. I am appreciating everything: the weather, the scenery, the palm trees, the foliage, the cactus plants. So many beautiful things down here that I don't get to see where I live. So just those things alone make me feel like I'm on a vacation, even though I'm not living any differently. Just being in the city is kind of like a mini vacation because where I live, everything is so far away. I still have enough privacy. The people on one side of me never did come this year, so that place is empty. There is somebody on the other side, but he's quiet. He's friendly when you speak to him, but he does his own thing. And I am not involved in a bunch of the activities like my father-in-law is, but I do a lot of independent activities, and my mother-in-law is the same way. She prefers to do her own thing and not participate in a lot of those. She does like to go to a lot of the free programs, and she keeps track of those events and lets me know what's happening. She gets up every day and has her routine of looking at her Facebook page and finding out what events are going on and what ones are free. And they are not frugal. I am frugal. So that is kind of different. But she's already gotten used to starting out the conversation or having a program and it doesn't cost anything to go. Do you want to come? Because she knows that we are living on limited income. We don't have pension. We don't have Social Security. We're living on savings and a little bit of side income, and that is it. She knows that we are very frugal. She knows I have a frugal channel, and they are not frugal at all. They eat out a lot. They do a lot of things that cost money. They don't think about what things cost because they are some of those people that have saved enough money. It's not a concern for them. Our concern is to make sure we have enough to last. So we're coming from two different places, but they respect that, and I respect what they're doing, and we just each do our own things. So it's very possible to travel in the circles of people that are not living the same type of life as you. There may be similarities, but not the same. And it's very possible to have friends that are not frugal and you still be frugal, and them respect your boundaries and you respect their choices. So I hope you've enjoyed this little insight into my daily life and my living next to family and some of the memories of my family and how I am incorporating my frugal lifestyle into all of that. Thanks for listening today, and I hope you have a great week.